Okay.
So I guess it made about 4.4 million. So streaming, start recording. Oh my god.
Okay. I guess I'm live. What a mess. I think it's YouTube. All right. I guess I'm going to soldier ahead here. I'll just soldier ahead. Maybe it'll come back on. All right. Let's get through the box office. Oop, let's hide that. So we stopped at Baby Girl. Yeah, that's that Nicole Kidman thing. Screw that. Number 8, also at 8. Gladiator 2. Very weak signal here, Ardent. So you might have to watch the video. Sorry. God, it's still. The stream is still trying to catch up to me? It's crazy. Oh, wait. I think I finally got. Something's happening. Jesus. Kite's here. Happy New Year, fellas. Take care in the snow. Thanks, Kite. Ardent, OBS seems to have screwed the pooch with their last update, methinks? I don't know. I'm just going to soldier on ahead because I don't know what else to do. There's only so much I could do. Click a few things. Restart is about all I know. Gladiator 2. So, yep, that's still in theaters. 2.6 million. Still doing okay. Still in 1,700 theaters. I don't know. What did this make? 449 million? That's money. Homestead. There was rumors they were review bombing this. I'm not sure who would bother. It's not doing that well. $2.1 million movie. Made 17 million. You're going to review bomb this? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Come here, Joan. Come here. Maybe if you get on the stream, Joan, we'll finally be back. Maybe we need a cute dog to save us. Number 10, The Fire Inside. That's Amazon sports movie, I think. 1.2 million. In its second week, dropped 37%. So you would think that would be legs, but there's so much competition. Weird, but it's all left over from the New Year's and Christmas weekend. Number 11, staying at 11, Craven the Hunter somehow cracked 1 million. I don't know who would see this movie, but I don't think it's making its money back. I think this had a fairly large budget. Is it here? Yeah, 110 million at 23 million. This ain't making its money back. No way. Number 12, 7 re-release, almost cracked 1 million. Don't know why they're releasing that now. Hey, it's 2025. Want to go see 7? A movie from 1,000,000 years ago? Number 13, the only movie that opened this week, The Damned. Ardent, LOL, I'd go see Craven. Well, it's out there if you want to see it. The Damned looks cool. I like the name. But only on cheap night. Yeah, that sounds like a streaming thing at best for me. Number 14, The Brutalist. It's only in 8 theaters. It's in its 3rd week. Put it in some damn theaters. I guess they're dragging this out for the Oscars, but it didn't open before. Or did it open? 3 weeks? Yeah, it opened before the new year. I'd assume this is Oscar bait then. I don't know. So they're going to tease this out, drop some Oscars on it, and then hope they can push it in February. Flo, that cartoon about a cat, $216,000. The Count of Monte Cristo, $208,000. I hear that's doing well. Nickel Boys, in its 4th week, $151,000. That sounds like it's done, but it's only in 18 theaters. Again, I think this is more Oscar bait. Honora at $147,000 in its 12th week. A Real Pain, Macaulay Culkin's brothers movie, and Jesse Eisenberg. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, dropping from 13 to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Lionsgate, $95,000. It's going out of theaters. All We Can Imagine Is Light. I believe that's a Hindi movie. Conclave. There's a whole lot of buzz about this movie all of a sudden with awards. The only thing more insulting to religious people, Hollywood, than you making a movie about religion and then bashing it is you making a movie about religion, bashing it, and then giving it a bunch of awards and saying, "Oh, good job." Yeah, I don't think you're endearing yourself to half the country. I bet you wouldn't make a movie about, say, Islam like that. September 5th, otherwise known as Munich 2.0. Not wrong making a movie about it, but like Munich, I mean, how old is Munich? It's not that old. The Seed of the Sacred Fig, also more Oscar bait. Better Man, it's that Robbie Williams movie. Wild Robot, finally going out of theaters. $27,000. Vermiglio, $17.3 thousand. And Santosh, $4,801. LeMay, the stream seems stable. Okay, we're back. I think we lost half my audience, but we're back, baby. We're back. The stream part 2. And I can't even see myself for some reason. There we go. There we go. I think this is live now. I don't even know. But all right. I'll just keep forging ahead. I don't know what's wrong with my recording. Let's get into the trades. Variety. Final Globes predictions. My prediction is this. The Golden Globes will be boring and self-serving. They'll reward themselves a bunch of stuff. Nikki Glaser, who does look hot and isn't unfunny, but I read in her article it sounded like she's going to pull her punches on her jokes, so no thanks. Oh, this was a big story this week. Jeff Baena, an indie director and Aubrey Plaza's husband, self-deleted a few days ago. He was 47. That is terrible news. I am a huge fan of Aubrey Plaza, but geez, what the hell happened there? Maybe he was depressed. I don't know. I mean, some people, they're just depressed, and one day it just overwhelms them. It's terrible. More on the BAFTA noms and Oscar predictions. I don't even care. Who cares about these movies? Why the 688 is dedicated to the late Clarence Jacqueline Avant. This was getting made fun of on X because it's another movie about the big war, and they're trying to, like, they've made so many wars or so many movies about that era they trying to constantly come up with a new angle. Well, they found this battalion of female, they were all black female soldiers who ended up sorting the mail. And so they made an entire movie about it, which, sure, I'm sure there's a movie in it, but like it looks so over dramatized. Like, you know, the mail was important during the big war, I'm sure. But like it wasn't like the whole war hinged on the mail, okay? I mean, let's be honest here. But it's just funny because you know, they've made so many movies about that era, and then they finally, oh my God, we found a whole battalion of black women to make a movie about. Hooray! So they're just promoting it as they normally do. Nicki Minaj was sued for assault and battery by a former tour employee. That sounds bad. What else? How to watch the Golden Globes Awards and red carpet pre-show. There's a red carpet pre-show? No thanks. Mike Rinder, Leah Remini's Scientology and the Aftermath co-host, dies at 69. Oh, that's a shame. I watched a bunch of this show. It was really good. If you're into like seeing the whole fallout from Scientology, it was a pretty good series. The Brutalist actor Joe Alwyn says his role was inspired by Donald Trump. He's unanswerable, unfortunately. Okay. So I guess I don't want to see The Brutalist then, because it's going to be another takedown of Trump and another victory for Hollywood as they speak truth to power, because, you know, nobody in Hollywood has any power, as we all know. They just have millions of dollars, the entire media, the backing of major corporations and all that. But yeah, they're really the little guys when it comes right down to it, huh? Yeah, let's make fun of big bad evil Donald Trump, Orange Man. Yeah, we got to make fun of Orange Man because that hasn't been done enough on Saturday Night Live and every other media possible thing. God, it's so annoying. LeMay, at least the guy from Men of Honor saved people and lost a leg over it. That's true. I mean, look, I'm sure it was important, but like, it just looked in the trailer very over dramatized. Megyn Kelly slams Conclave as disgusting anti-Catholic film and says shame on Ralph Fiennes. Catholics are always fair game to smear. It's true, it is unfair. It would be different if Hollywood did a movie like, and they used to, I think, in the past, were a little more open to pretty much anything. I would say you'd have to go back to the 70s. But back in the 70s, there wasn't a real, I mean, wasn't a whole lot of people even talking about Muslims back then in the movies anyway. So they're not going to do an Islamic version of the Conclave. They're just not. They're petrified of doing that. But they'll do this all day long because they, number one, what is the Catholic Church going to do? They'll put out a statement. Certainly a lot of religious people will avoid the movie, and that's about it. But really, part of the problem, too, is, and I don't think anybody addresses this, it's just boring. It's not daring to do anymore. It would be daring if someone did the book that was written by Salman Rushdie, the author who was attacked. He's got a fatwa on his head. If you did a movie version of the Satanic Verses. Now, I don't want to do that. I have no interest in doing that movie. I have no interest in even seeing that movie, most likely. But, you know, it would be daring. There would be no denying it would be daring. And there'd be no denying that the security on that set would have to be sky high. But they're not going to do that in Hollywood. They're not going to do it to the Buddhist. They're not going to do it to the Hindus or the Shintoists or any other religion. This is rage clicks, essentially. And look, it's not like the Catholic Church doesn't have things to answer for, but so do all the religions when you get right down to it. Any institution or organization that's very old and wealthy are going to have tons of corruption in it. And the more corruption and the bigger it is, the more shocking it will be. So yeah, the Catholic Church did some stuff, and it's bad. But so did a lot of other religions. So did a lot of other governments in connection with religion. If you equally, Hollywood's always talking about equity. If you used equity in your coverage of this sort of topic, then nobody would have a problem with it. I mean, then we wouldn't have a problem with it, I'll say. Because then it wouldn't be, Hollywood goes after everybody. It's like South Park. You know why South Park gets a pass for everything? It's because South Park goes after everyone. No one is left unscathed in South Park. LeMay, too bad there's a lot of content in it. Zebek's Demise is here. Good evening. Good evening. We've been having a lot of technical difficulties, Zebek. Just to give you a heads up. Seems to be okay now. Anyhow, I'm not a religious guy, but it pisses me off when things are unfair or hypocritical. It just pisses me off. So if you're going to go after the Catholic Church in a movie, they're fair game. Go after the other religions too, and I don't have a problem with that. If you're going to leave the other religions alone and just go after Catholics, that's completely unfair, and it's hypocritical. Again, Bill Maher is one of the few guys, he went after all religions, essentially. But even he, I got to imagine, would be afraid to do anything about Islam. I don't know if he did any Islamic stuff in Religious. I don't know if he did. I want to say he did. But it's been so long since I saw the movie. Zebek's Demise. I noticed you had to restart a couple of times. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Vivian, first ever winner of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, dies at 32. Well, that's pretty young even for a drag queen. Let's see what the drag queen died from, if there is. Oops. They were 32. It's a shame. There's no details, so I don't know. Mike Milligan, writer and producer of The Jeffersons and All in the Family, dies at 77. Oh no. I watched those shows. They were good shows. Star Wars child actor Jake Lloyd is feeling pretty good about his mental health 17 years after schizophrenia diagnosis. Everyone's been very supportive. Well, that's nice. Sounds like he's gotten his life back together. I know there are some more schizophrenic drugs out there that they've recently developed. Maybe finally there's one that keeps you on an even keel. Even makes you okay without making you super sleepy. Over at the Fandom Pulse, ex-influencer exposes how mainstream publisher pushes transgender propaganda books on children, though mainstream publishers like Penguin and Random House, or through mainstream publishers like Penguin and Random House. Yeah, this is so weird. It's like these woke guys think, well, anything gay must be awesome, and children immediately have to know about it. So you could just, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it has facade of being gay or in the rainbow community, these people will put it in a book and hand it to school children like tomorrow. There's no line they won't cross, it seems to me. And I don't know why any school children have to know about gay people at all. They're you know, one could argue maybe in high school when they start to get sex ed, you might want to mention that, oh, some people are gay. But beyond that, I think you should really stay out of it. Book publishers, librarians, teachers, it's really none of your business. The personal sexual proclivities of other people's children, not really your wheelhouse. Stay out of it. You too, Rachel Levine, who moved her mom to a nursing home right before that big disease of unknown origin showed up. You might remember that. Yeah, somehow her mother got right out of the nursing homes. Huh. And then they moved recovering patients from that certain disease into the nursing home. Huh. Huh. You mean her mother got to be with her family? Away from all the danger? Huh. Interesting. Interesting how her mother got a heads up. It seems to me. Babylon creator Michael J. Straczynski. Oh, Indie Phantom is here. I've showed up just like a disease, unexpectedly. We had so many technical problems. Sorry. Babylon creator Michael J. Straczynski mocks the Gospels of Christ and blasphemes while offering to rewrite John. Indie Phantom, ex-influencer. LOL. Michael J. Straczynski, who I liked a lot of his writings, now I kind of sounds like a lunatic. Some of the stuff I've heard and some of the articles and again, I'm not even religious. I don't care if you like Jesus. You can like Jesus, that's fine. Whatever you're into. But you know, these people who rail against Trump and religion and go on and on, I just go, what is wrong with you? Live your life. These people are worth millions of dollars. Shut up. Shut up. You're not smarter than anybody. You're just lucky. William Wallace is here. Everybody's found the stream now that I've reloaded. Was just watching a doc about the Mothman, and I had that 5 degree of separation to Jersey Devil to realizing Tony D was live. Fist bump, Patriot. Fist bump to you, my friend. Good MAGA to you. I was trying to push that as a thing. It didn't really work. JC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, hi, hi. Everybody's found the stream now that I've restarted it 2 times. So, okay, we're back, baby. We're back. What next? Am I going to get a donation? Brandon Sanderson. This is another story. It's crazy. Brandon Sanderson admits story scope expansion and being rushed as a team led to fan perceived quality problems in The Wind and Truth. But that's not the big story. The big story was he put some woke stuff in it, apparently, and he was supposed to be kind of based. JC, I was taking a nap, LOL. William Wallace, indeed. Good MAGA to you all. I like it. Indie Phantom, I'm cool with Jesus. He seemed chill. Yeah, he didn't like banks. I don't like banks. He went into the money changers place and threw off all the tables. That was badass. Indie Phantom, The Wind and the Truth. And Truth. What did I say? So this is kind of a shock to me because everybody was touting this guy as some sort of based sci-fi novelist, and why would he suddenly do the LGBT thing in his novels? I don't get it. Seems weird. And then there was a picture of him carrying the flag. I don't know if it was a real picture. Maybe it was an AI thing. Just seemed odd. And then I did a video about this article. A new Dungeons & Dragons supplement delivers rant on anti-colonial play, asking players to avoid morality, a narrow morality against monster races like gnolls. Indie Phantom, I am often disturbed when based reveal wokeness cringe. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, you thought that guy was safe, and then suddenly it's like, did they just drive the woke money truck to his house and say, hey, you want $1 million, $2 million? Just be super woke and cringe now. Oh, okay, but I get all the money, right? Yeah. We'll just dump it right here on your step. But you got to be super cringe as quickly as possible. Okay, thanks for the money, woke people. LeMay, he might just want his book picked up by Hollywood. Yeah, but that's not going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because Hollywood is about image. And his image was, he was sort of a populist book writer. You can't just turn on a dime and expect Hollywood to go, oh, okay, he's not that way anymore. Yeah, they're all phonies in Hollywood too, but that ain't gonna work because his audience isn't with the woke people. And the woke people won't accept him because he looks like a phony, I think. Maybe the ones that didn't know about him. And his fan base, I think, is going to get a little mad and a little miffed. And he might lose a bunch of them. It's not a good way to go. You got to stick to your guns. If he had come out possibly with a better explanation. Now, maybe Fandom Pulse is overblowing it. It's really not as bad as it sounds, but I don't know. They posted an excerpt from the book. It didn't sound great to me. Indie Phantom, Turncoats, JC. I was listening to JDA's stream the other day. He went over Sanderson's new book. It's a medieval fantasy book with non-binary people and therapists? That sounds really, really cringe and woke. Indie Phantom, D&D is all chaotic evil now. LeMay, also, he is a white religious guy. He is trying to fortify his position. I guess. I don't think that's a smart way to do it. I don't think, first off, if you're doing a fantasy book and you use the word non-binary, I'm out. I'm so out. Couldn't be more out. It's not a word that should be in a fantasy book. Just shouldn't be there. What are you even doing? Now, if you use a word like androgynous to describe the elves, that jibes. But if you're detailing the various sexual proclivities of the various characters and their pronouns, I can't be more out. William Wallace, the power is in what the cult culture appreciates. Look at how they panned Scarface. Yes. I was just talking about Scarface. I had a trivia question about Scarface. Oh, yeah, we were playing this trivia game called Battle of the Sexes, where the women had to ask women questions, like about shoes and perfume and stuff. And then the men had to ask the women men questions. So one of the man questions for the women was, who was the lead character in Scarface? And it took about 20 minutes, but my girlfriend and her sister remembered the name, Tony Montana. William Wallace, The Warriors, The Crow, etc. JC, JDA was questioning if he's even writing his books anymore, given how quick he cranks them out. He made $50 million on a Kickstarter for a book. Was that money laundering? I don't know. Did he make it all is the question. I mean, why wouldn't he write his own books? If I was making $50 million, that's all I would do. Between eating sushi and I don't know, buying more houses, I guess. Indie Phantom. Some D&D shill was touting how they had first non-binaries way back, which is straight up hilarious gaslighting. Yeah, I mean, this is so woke-tarded. I did a whole video on this, but I'll just dip into my points. The whole point of a fantasy game and a fantasy is, first off, you're playing a character and you want all the opponents to be people you can kill, monsters you can kill. Not people, but monsters. Monsters you could kill without any ethical conundrums whatsoever. 90% of the people who play fantasy stuff like this, they don't want to sit down with the monster and say, well, should I kill you? Maybe I should see things from your perspective. No, that's not what people want. If you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, we would rack up body counts for fighting like some of the low-level monsters like the goblins, because under the old rules, you got one swing per level against any monster that was less than a hit die. So against goblins, you could go to town. So if you had a 10th level fighter, you could swing 10 times. If you had 2 attacks, you could swing 20 times. You could basically rake your sword through an army full of goblins and kill like 40 of them in a round. It was awesome. LeMay, yeah, there was rumors of a Ghost Rider. Well, that's a gig I've taken. Believe me. But that's weird. That's weird. He would... I think the fans would have to be able to tell if he switched to a Ghost Rider. I think if I hired a Ghost Rider for the Pineys, I think you'd probably know immediately. You'd be like, hey, this guy isn't funny at all. Why'd it get so serious? William Wallace. It's all the laundering and grift since the classics evaporated from all the vandalism. I don't know. $50 million. I mean, that sounds like cartel involvement to me, but I guess it's possible if you're charging more than what I charge for a book. I charge only $9 a book, but Jesus, 50 million. I mean, some of these high-end books do cost like upwards of $30 to $50 a book. So, holy crap-holies. 50 million? Really? He made $50 million? I want to make $50 million. Zev Extreme. I was out of role-playing games when I started seeing gendered language in the book. They began referring to players as she when they should be using the player. That was D&D 3.0. Oh, really? I didn't notice that. I mean, D&D 3.0, the system seemed to work the best. I felt it was well balanced. I don't really care about the language. I would ignore a lot of the book, make up my own rules. JC, she made $3 million on the Kickstarter. Oh, say he made $3 million on the Kickstarter, but they make it look like he made $50 million. Then he needs to make it look like he had to spend the money sending the infrastructure to send out 50 million books. I guess. But you would have to spend millions of dollars in order to do that, I assume. William Wallace, referring to the woke mind virus destroying all established literature. I see. Well, I think part of the problem, and this goes back even before the woke really took hold, is it's not really taught anymore. It goes back to James Lindsay talking about how the Marxists took over the school system, and they pushed out a lot of the classics for various reasons. So, yeah. People don't even get references. So, like, I made a reference in the Pineys with all the names of the Piney hunter characters, and a lot of people just don't get it. In fact, it took about 3 years before somebody pointed it out to me, and I was like, yes, you got it. You understood the reference. You're the first person. They're like, really? I was like, yeah, it's been years. I've been waiting for somebody to say, oh, you made all the characters this kind of name. And I was like, yes. And it wasn't like super clever. I'm not saying it was like super clever. I thought it was like painfully obvious, but apparently I'm the old guy in the post-apocalyptic movie that knows how stuff works, and that scares me because I don't know much in the way of things that work. JC, he was selling high-end leather-bound books. Oh, well, yeah. They got to be like $50, $100 a piece. JC, whoever he's money laundering the money for probably owns the warehouse and trucks. They charge him 10 times the going rate on paper to explain where the $50 million went, I guess. I mean, that's all speculation, but possibly. But then again, whose money is it? That would be my question. Zevek's demise. They are all writers. But yeah, so this anti-colonial rant in the books, in the rule books. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Gnolls are good for one thing: putting their head on a pike after you kill them. Same thing with orcs and goblins and all the monsters. And by the way, they're not born. And this goes back, I was saying in my video, this goes back to the late 70s, early 80s. The game actually made that mistake very early on. You would go into a dungeon and find a tribe of, say, orcs or kobolds or whatever. And then there would be the females, and then there would be the children. And then the big ethical conundrum was, do the paladins kill the evil orc children, or do they let them live to grow up to attack later? And that was stupid of the writers of TSR at the time to do that, but I don't think they did it on purpose with any kind of machinations to undermine society. I think they just made a mistake and it got out there and then propagated into the game system. Because that was definitely on keep on the Borderlands. So these creatures aren't biological creatures. They're magical creatures. So they are made. Orcs are made. They're not born. They are corrupted elves in Middle-earth anyway. In Dungeons & Dragons, I think it just got confused. But there's a real easy solution for that. You could fix it in the rules, but apparently Hasbro's too busy virtue signaling to everybody because they think that gets them to play a game. I don't think they even care about Dungeons & Dragons. I think it's a tiny portion of their division, and then of a division of a division of a division of a bigger corporation that is trying to get ESG dollars. So if it sells, great. If it doesn't, they don't care. They'll burn a lot of IPs to the ground and lose, say, 10 million to make 100 million. Business-wise, it makes sense in the short term. For the long-term growth of your company, it doesn't make any sense. But back in the day, we were old school D&D guys. Gone Girl director David Fincher provides update on what direction Warner Brothers plans to take its Harry Potter TV series. He suggested that it should be a little bit creepy, and I agree with him. I think it would be cool to make Harry Potter a little creepier. Oh, here's the picture of Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if this is a real picture. This might be AI, but it's pretty funny. LeMay, Goblin Slayer answered that moral question in the first chapter. Some were angered by that answer. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a fantasy game or book where monsters are evil and you kill them. It makes it easy. Trying to save the monsters. Who are you saving exactly? Who are you saving by doing this? You're saving no one. It's a made-up monster. You're not saving anyone. More wokeness at DC Comics. Trying to make a female lead for Superman. Trying to make Superman's mom the main character in some respects, and Absolute Superman. I don't know why you would bother, but sure, go knock yourselves out, DC. I'm not going to buy your stupid comics. And judging by what I've seen in comic book conventions over the last year, no one else is either. So gay them all up. I don't care. That's just more money for me. And I've made sales for my books because there are disgusted comic book fans and they're so frustrated because there's nothing to read. And the few that are hanging on by their fingernails are either buying old comics or they are looking to sell and looking to get out, or they're still buying because of the, they're just doing a buying and selling thing. It's kind of like really, really, really terrible stocks. All right, Joan. Ugh. Making me sick because you're heating up my lap. Ardent, hello. Are we back to good? I think we are, Ardent. So far, I haven't had a problem with the stream. We got 1 million people in the chat now. This was also another big story. Indie Phantom, what do potential buyers ask you if things are woke, etc.? They kind of they don't use those terms. Most people won't use that terms. Zebek's Demise. The Pineys is a pretty fun series. Tony, I am enjoying. Thank you very much, Zebek. The kind of thing they do is they're just tired and exhausted of the same old crap coming out of the comics. They don't articulate it typically as woke. They just go, it's boring. It's stupid. I don't read them anymore. I'm just buying them for the covers, basically, and to sell them on Facebook events for the hot comics, the few that pop up on occasion. So, I just pick off people who are essentially readers. They're looking for something to actually read. And I am fortunate that I'm, I have a lot of local appeal in my books. So I tend to stay local. So when I mention in book 16, I do a story about the Atco ghost from Atco, New Jersey. People from that area who have been to that area or heard the story go, oh my God, the Atco ghost. Yeah, I know that story. And they get excited. It makes it exciting for people because they can connect with the story. No one can connect with a Superman story where Superman's not the main character, but his mommy is, and she's a strong, empowered woman that's going to save her boy. What? You lost him. Indie Phantom. I missed the box office. I will review it later. Friggin' Disney Mafia Mufasiosas. Yeah, they actually pushed the movie to #1. Yeah, sorry about that. It just it got crazy. William Wallace. They crashed and burned spectacularly when they lost Henry Cavill as Superman. He was born for the part. I thought the Man of Steel was worthy. Agree to disagree. To me, the problem with those movies was Zack Snyder. He is a guy, I think the studio needed to sit on him and say, here's your screenwriter. Before you make any major changes to the story, use him. Use him first. Consult with him. And then maybe you would have gotten a story that, really came together. Indie Phantom, stay local, buy local. Yes. Ardent, or his wife. Yeah. What, Joan? All right, I'm going to put you down. There you go. Time for Joan to leave. Always ruining the show. Okay, so this other story, the Nexus mods removed Marvel Rivals mod that depicted Donald Trump as Captain America, which is so petty and stupid. Storebang is here. Have you ever heard of Summers Point Screamer? Local ghost lore in my parts. God, that sounds so familiar. I may have. I know I've heard of a screamer before. I'm not sure if it was Summers Point. This is Summers Point, New Jersey, home of Taco Tuesday at Gregory's Bar. It was invented at Gregory's Bar, Taco Tuesday. And he owned the patent on it for many years. I think he recently sold it or licensed it to Taco Bell. I'm going to have to do some more research to get back to you on the Summers Point Screamer, though. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a great name. I thought there was one. There's a Phantom in Bordentown, which I read the article once and I haven't been able to find it since. But I'll have to dig up some Summers Point Screamer stuff. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds like something I need to do as a story. Indie Phantom. Did that baby girl flick chart? I have noticed lots of these older women, younger men sex flicks are a thing. There is something on Apple called Disclaimer with Kate Blanchett too, with added incest. Yes, it Baby Girl stayed at number 7 for the weekend and did the exact same amount of money that it did last week, which was about 4.4 million. And so crazily enough, no drop off, steady business from the Baby Girl movie. You couldn't get me to watch it, but yeah, I mean that's where I'm. I mean, again, like Hollywood's at some point is going back to the money. They seem to be fine with the stuff like this. There's so many friggin' books online filled with smut for women right now. It's basically girl porn. Femcells all day long are reading this stuff. And I would say. And it's just trashy novels, but it's tons of sex. And look, I'm not judging you if you read that stuff and you like it. Hell, I ghost wrote some of it. And I got paid very well. I would totally take that gig again, but I hated every second and every word I wrote, and praise God that no one will ever know what I wrote. But man, it's everywhere. In fact, I looked into creating a fake name and writing a series of books completely apart from my books, and then launching a second sort of wave of books just to make some money, but I decided against it. It's too much. It's too much on my soul, quite frankly. And you think I poorly edited the Pineys? Holy crap. I did not do a single bit of editing on the stuff I ghost wrote. The bar was pretty low. I basically typed it out as fast as I could and sent it in for the money. Indie Phantom, steady as she blows. Don the Second, high literature is what I'm hearing. Well, you got to get yourself some high literature. It's good stuff. Indie Phantom, it used to be the Jackie Collins world. Lifestyles of the Rich and Shameless. I did watch some of those TV movies back in the day. Yeah, and they had a lot of TV shows were like that. Dallas and Falcon Crest and oh gosh, there's another one. Again, I was playing 80s trivia last night, so we were talking about that. But now people don't watch TV, so people are kind of going back to books or books you can read in your iPad or your Kindle reader. I mean, some people are like, no, I'm still a book person. Yeah, but when you're on a plane or you're on the beach and you don't feel like carrying a bunch of stuff, and you have Ardent Dynasty? Yeah, I think it was Dynasty. And I think that was the answer I couldn't think of last night. Um, people are slowly being dragged into the electronic book world. Ardent, what was the one with the Ewings? Dallas? Yeah, that was Dallas. Who shot JR? Zevix Demise. Falcon Crest. Jesus, I forgot that was even a thing. Indie Phantom. High recommend from this week. I watched The Blue Knight with William Holden, which was an amazing 1973 TV movie. What was that about? Alex Ogle is here. Happy New Year, you filthy degenerates. Movie pitch, presidential pardon. Tony D plays President Trump, broadcasting to the nation from a surprisingly small room, and it's delivered regular updates on the ongoing situation by Sydney Sweeney in a bikini, who has to squeeze past him saying, "Pardon me." I get it. I like it. Let me see a draft by Tuesday. Indie Phantom. 3 hours with lots of great Los Angeles shots from back in the day. Holden is a crusty vice cop approaching retirement. Ooh, neat. That sounds good. 73 movie. Good stuff. That was the Renaissance for movies. The 70s, man. They were doing all kinds of good stuff back then. It was sort of like the perfect window of Hollywood had enough money that they could do cool things, but they didn't have too much money that it went to their head, and it still wasn't corporate yet. I mean, it's kind of corporate, but not real heavily corporate. Now it's like so friggin' corporate. Indie Phantom. It was based on a Joseph Wambaugh novel. He was a former police officer and successful novelist back in the day. Cool. But yeah, I thought this was petty that, of all the mods to remove, you're going to remove this one. Like, you just made it a thing by doing that. Why not let people have Trump running around as Captain America? It's funny. Indie Phantom. It was so cinematic and so much production value, authentic looking, sleazy at times, but gritty as hell. Yeah, that was the deal in the 70s. Like, every movie, that was the new thing. Because you came out of the 60s, yeah, you started getting into some gritty stuff with all the hippie crap, but really it was like the whole deal in the 70s was showing people taking drugs, showing people doing sleazy stuff that had never been viewed before, and going down that path. So, some people will point to that and say, "Wow, that's when the culture started to go downhill." Kinda. But cinematically, it was very arty. I mean, like, some people did it just because it was the trend, but there were some... I mean, look at Midnight Cowboy. That's a sleazy movie. It's also a good movie. But then in the 80s, it sort of came back. William Wallace, 70s TV horror movies were the best. JC, old studio system was still around in the 70s, but it was dying off. Wall Street hadn't taken over Hollywood yet completely. Yes, there were still a lot of old guys from the old Hollywood kicking around. Ardent, came across a movie from the early 60s called The Hoodlum Priest the other day when I did an IMDb search for Irvin Kershner movies. Even the trailer looked more high quality than most movies today. Writing and acting wise. Yeah. I mean, that's my problem with Nosferatu. It's fine for what it is. It has some really nice cinematography, but the writing on it is just sort of there. William Dafoe is okay. Not great, but he's okay. There could have been some great lines in it. There were some okay lines in it. Indie Phantom. Yeah, I'm deep diving some of the old TV movies, especially the ones that are out in HD. Doesn't the Criterion people have stuff like that in the mix? Although I guess they're mostly movies. Alex Ogle, since 2024 was so filled with crappy premises and appalling stories, to what depths does everyone think 2025 will plumb? So deep, not even a carbon fiber submersible can survive. But well, a movie we have to sort of look forward to is Sydney Sweeney playing a female boxer, where she basically doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney. She doesn't look hot. She looks like a boxer who's getting her face punched in. So they took the most beautiful woman in Hollywood currently, the it girl of the day, and said, "Oh, why don't you do this boxing movie where your face gets all pummeled, we downplay your enormous hooters, and you kind of butch it up a little, so you maybe cut your hair." Great. Yeah, let's not put her in a bikini and have her run around and look hot. Let's make her a boxer and make her look not hot. So that's where they're still got their brain. Yeah, I mean, Superman looks okay. Although, some of the stuff coming out of it looks like, there's going to be some stuff not great. But, I mean, at least it's heading back in the direction we kind of want it to. But it may take a lot longer. Indie Phantom, I need to see that Irvin Kushner book. JC, old studio got desperate enough to give some young artsy directors a chance. Yeah, I'm waiting for that moment. I don't think it'll happen because I don't think these studios now make their money off the movies. They make them on bigger deals. So, with the exception of Angel Studios is probably actually trying to make the money from the movies. So we need more studios like that. Daily Wire might be another contender in that. Indie Phantom, I heard Nosferatu was another feminist allegory thingy. It kind of is. Yeah, because it kind of leans into the female character being the savior at the end. I think. But, I mean, you can interpret it a couple of different ways. So, it's not very... It's a little vague, but I don't know. I didn't like it. Not for that in particular, but just because I keep coming back to William Dafoe. William Dafoe, not for his performance, but the stuff he said. Like, he was supposed to be the smart guy, and he wasn't smart. He wasn't very smart at all. Indie Phantom, Alex, I don't hold out much hope for 2025 movie agenda. Not in the next 2 months. It's going to be a disaster. But the upshot might be that these studios finally back off of the woke. Indie Phantom, it's like when Charlize Theron did Monster. Silly. She did look very different in that movie, I'll say, but yeah. Alex Ogle, great. I need a new Patsy for my pitches. Don't worry, there'll always be another hot chick coming up in Hollywood. Don the Second, they should have made her the ring girl. Yeah. Ardent, apparently Sydney Sweeney was in martial arts when she was younger. Pitch, Sydney Sweeney and Michael Jai White in sequel to Black Dynamite. Oh, that would be funny. Alex Ogle, at Don, second, yes, I'd buy that for a Canadian dollar. William Wallace, I think OG movies in every sense are about to make a comeback. Woke is becoming an endangered species. Yeah, but it's going to take about a year for it to flush out of Hollywood. I mean, you got this Captain America 4. It's probably going to be a complete dumpster fire. They've reshot it I don't know how many times. I think they took a bunch of the woke crap out of it, but I don't think it's going to be any good. But it might be serviceable. It might be not horrendous. They might have taken most of the woke stuff out, but maybe there'll be like a couple of scenes where you go, what? I don't know. Alex, at Ardent, Sweeney or White in the bikini? Ardent, at Alex, Black Dynamite, don't wear no budgie smuggler fool. Alex, has Hollywood given up on the New Year's blockbuster? apparently, nothing really came out. A movie called The Damned came out this weekend. There was no other releases this weekend. So it was all Mufasa and all the same movies from last week. Nosferatu, Wicked, and Moana, and what's the other movie? The other movie I didn't like. JC, you're not excited to finally see Captain America Globalist Agenda laid bare? Oh boy, when you put it like that. Alex Ogle, or Ardent at Alex. Oof, Canadian dollar at 69 cents right now via the USD. 69, dude. Alex Ogle at JC. Only Trump turns up at the end to kick arse. Indie Phantom, bloody Moana 2 gonna hit 1 billion. Yep, I said that earlier. It's there. It's like right there. They're gonna keep it in theaters till it hits 1 billion, no doubt. So expect Moana 2 or Moana 3 and Moana 4 coming to a theater near you. All right, let's move on from this. Sick of seeing this. Golden Globes. Here's some hot chicks here. This chick on the left is the one from Anora. She might be the new it girl. I like her attitude so far. She was the one who said intimacy coordinators are, kind of dumb. Brett Ratner to direct Melania Trump documentary for Amazon. Well, that'll be fair and balanced. I'm sure. I'm sure it won't make her look terrible at all. Oh, I'm sure they'll make her look wonderful. And won't imply that she's a horrible, horrible person. God. Adam Pauly pays tribute to authentic Jeff Buena after director's death. My heart breaks. Yeah, he self-deleted. That's terrible. It's very terrible. Squid Game spin-offs. Creator of Netflix hit has multiple ideas. I'm so sick of Squid Game. I haven't watched a single second of this show, and I'm so sick of it. I get it. It was a thing. It probably should only been one season, but ugh. Oh, this was announced this week. Jason Momoa, it's official. He's going to play Lobo in the Supergirl movie. For what that's worth. I don't know. It'll be better than Minecraft, is about all I could say about it so far. Alex Ogle, the only Ratner I know is Gerald, who undermined the entire UK jewelry chain in the UK by telling everyone they sold crap. Ardent, no! Momoa as Lobo. Don the Second, I haven't watched it either. LOL. So here was a big controversy this week I talked about. The new Spider-Man cartoon. Yes, that is his outfit, at least for, I think, the first episode. Oh, and it gets worse. It gets so much worse. You think this outfit is terrible? You're probably looking at it and go, what the F is that? Oh, it gets so much worse from here. Oh, they don't have pictures. Okay. Same. I was done with Squid Game, says Indie Phantom, when the hype hit. Knew I had no interest. Same with Parasite movie a few years ago. Yeah, I never saw that. Ardent. The web shooter tech is just dumb. Yeah, it's so... What the hell are you doing? Yeah, Peter Parker's such a genius. He hasn't figured out how to run the hoses underneath his clothes. Genius. Genius. Let me see. I want to find these other... Let me see. Your friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see if I can find these stills. No, not here. Let me go back to the top. So, the reason they have this picture is because in the cartoon, they make Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn black. But it's not, this is just a joke. Let me see if I can find the still. Oh, come on. I thought this would have popped up immediately. Ardent, LOL. Indie Phantom, Flintstone Spider-Man crossover? Oh, shoot. Let's see. No one posted this? Oh, here we go. This might lead us to the pictures I'm looking for. This is Animation Magazine. Okay. All right. See this character here? This is Harry Osborn. So Harry is a strong, empowered woman. Ardent, oh my good God. Try Googling an image search. Don the Second, Lamo, is there anywhere in comics where he's black? No. No, this is the gender race swap of Harry and Norman Osborn. So, let's see. Harry's the dad, right? So Harry gets race swapped. No, it's the other way around. Norman gets race swapped. Harry gets race swapped and gender swapped. Or he might be trans. I'm not sure. Zebek's Demise. Do you bring Fred to the future or Spider-Man to the past? Don the Second. So random. Exactly. Like, why wouldn't you just, I don't know, make a new character? And it's a cartoon, and it's based on the comic. And if you watch the trailer, Peter Parker's pretty much the only white character in it. So MJ is Asian, I think. Oh, there's the MJ character. Like, Peter's exactly the same. All the characters around him. It looks like the Parkers moved to a neighborhood where there are no other white people. It's crazy. It's like, why would you why would you race swap all the characters? All of them? It's nuts. Alex Ogle, leaving aside the characters swap, the drawing style is simplistic and uninspiring. Yeah, a lot of people complained about that too. It just doesn't look good. Ardent, at Zebek's Demise, bringing Fred forward could get very interesting, especially if he converts to Islam. Just saying, he does know how to handle a rock. JC, that art looks hideous. I knew you would say that. Zebek's Demise, Fred's Jihad. I think this is, eventually he gets a, no, this is not from the trailer I saw. He had a different costume even after this. I'm just going to play some of this. Hold on. I got to turn off the sound. I'll just click through it. So here, crazy enough, so there, this is a famous Spider-Man cover from the comic books, in case you don't know. So see, here you have Spider-Man in the same exact pose from the cover of the comic. Instead, he's holding up the new Harry Osborn, I guess Harriet Osborn, and in this terrible new costume. Ardent, Yabba Dabba Allah Akbar. You guys are really going to get me in trouble in this stream. Alex at Ardent, ha 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 ha. Zebek's Demise, LOL. I can't tell if you're laughing at them or me. So yeah, this is the animation. This is Peter Parker. He gets hit by a car. There's MJ. Here's Peter. Look, these are his classmates. None of them are white except for Peter. I think there's one other white guy in like one shot here. Here's his class. Yeah, I think this guy here might be white here. It's hard to tell. Ardent holding her by the boob from that angle. Indie Phantom. That is no. Zevix to Mind. Sorry to why. Don the second. Hashtag canceled. Yeah, this is Peter's teacher. I don't even know who this guy is. Like, they could have done it for the teacher, because I don't think there are a lot of teacher characters from Spider-Man. Ardent. Is the tall chick meant to be Flash Thompson? I'll bet. You know what? I don't know. But this guy's in a sports, a varsity sports thing, so I think this might be Flash. Flash Thompson's one of the supporting characters in Spider-Man. He was the jock that picked on Peter, but then later he was his friend. But then later in the movies, he was an Indian guy who was obnoxious and rich, which was sort of the same. Alex, at least Classroom has the U.S. flag and not the pride nonsense. Oh, I bet they wanted to put it in there, though. Don the second, ironically, making it less diverse with only minorities. Yeah. Like, it's kind of saying, like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. Like, you didn't have to do this. Like, sure, you're going to put a few characters in it who were black or whatever, just to mix it up a little bit, to give the characters a different look, but to do it to almost all the characters except Peter. Ardent, in the comics, he became Agent Venom, a war hero. Oh, Flash Thompson. Oh, right. Yeah, here he is. This is Spider-Man doing a Spider-Man thing. Here's Harriet Osborn. Yeah, this is I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a trans woman or a female. The style is so weird. Here's Spider-Man getting mugged and then fighting some gang guys. So he beats up all the gang guys. Oh, and he's like an influencer, Spider-Man. So he's constantly putting his adventures online, which would immediately get him caught, because he has a secret identity. So if you're looking for something to laugh at and say, Jesus H. Christmas, what the hell are you doing? You can watch this, I guess. I think one of the bad guys is white. Oh, there's Captain America. He's white. He's still white in the show. I mean, what have you done? Oh, that's Norman Osborn there. That's the cartoon Norman Osborn. Ardent, LOL. Here we see Harriet Osborn not knowing how to cross the road. That is one diverse gang. JEC, can we see a few seconds of what the animation looks like in motion? All right. Let me finish clicking through it, though. All right, so here's Norman showing Peter some of his lab here. Now, this is the Spider-Man costume, at least the one that they start with, and Norman Osborn develops it for him. So, go figure. I guess then Peter redesigns it again and makes it the real costume. I don't know. It's so bad to me. And I complained about this costume, and then somebody was like, oh, you didn't read the comics because he had that costume. If he had this costume, he had it for like a couple of seconds in an issue once, I guess. But this is not what you'd call the Spider-Man costume. I mean, they had the Venom costume, which was kind of the reverse of this, but... Alex Ogle, the only way to make this truly diverse is to double up on the S's for the simpering tone of the LGBTQ voices. Yeah, that's true. Spider-Man, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm having a bad day. Do you want to come over and talk? Yes, I do. I'll swing over to you. Because we all swing. Indie Phantom, can't wait for Phase 6 adaptions. Ardent, Future Foundation costume from Oscorp, I guess. Is that what it's from? Indie Phantom, oh slap, I thought it was just a comic. JC, Captain America will be dead or on the run from the law, so Norman will become the Iron Patriot. Oh, right, I forgot they did that. Zebek's demise looks better than the Spider-Man wearing a t-shirt. Yeah. Ardent at Alex Ogle, more lispy and lame. JC, he had it when he joined the Fantastic Four, I think. Ardent, LOL, hashtag getting himself canceled. Yeah, like, how do you screw up a Spider-Man cartoon on Disney? It's unbelievable. All right, so here, see, there is one other white guy in the school. Apparently. There's Peter. And there's his strong, empowered woman teacher. I'm sure she's teaching a feminist seminar on why it's misogynist to be a man. Ardent, yeah, it looks like a combo of the Future Foundation and anti-venom suits. Oh, okay. So, and they used the original theme song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, but they like screwed around with it, you know. Yeah, Zebek's to mine. Wait, was that that Asian Spider-Man? No, I don't think he's Asian in it. Ardent, this looks like the smoothest of crap. Yes. It's very crappy, I think. So here's a little bit of the fight. So that's the kind of animation it is. A lot of camera stuff. I don't think it's the animation so much. The movements look very smooth. I just hate the designs. God, the designs are awful. They're hurting my eyes watching these. Like, if the designs were better, it's like they hired guys who couldn't draw and then put their drawings in a program that really is good at animating. That's what it looks like to me. But I don't know. I don't have Disney Plus. I'm not watching this stupid thing. Ardent, it's like anime, only garbage. All right, time to move forward. Where the hell was I now? All right, bounding in the comics. Ardent, there's no texture at all. Yeah, everything's smooth. Arrowhead Game Studios, CCO, says he won't add DEI to their games. Quote, if it doesn't add to the game experience, it detracts. Okay. So this is Helldivers CCO. Good, I guess. I know that Warhammer's getting its S shoved in these days on that front. JC, ugly, lazy CGI movement looks uncanny valley. Storebang, DEI animators, LOL. Ardent, LOL, smooth like baby diaper filling. Rumor, and I believe this is true. Spoilers claim mutant hybrid dinosaurs are pivotal to Jurassic World Rebirth. I saw something that leaked that what's her name? Scarlett Johansson is in this movie, and she apparently can turn into a dinosaur or a dinosaur woman. I don't know if it's true. But that would jibe with this rumor. So they had some stills. I don't know how real they are. Maybe they were just screwing around, or maybe it's a misinformation, purposeful misinformation to mislead you, and then you see the trailer and go, oh, they're not doing that. Ardent, oh great, X-Men dinosaurs. Over Deadline, Nikki Glazer, She's sort of a hot comedian doing the Golden Globes. I don't think her barbs are going to... I mean, she was pretty good on a roast. I saw once. I forget which one. But she made some statement that completely, I thought, undermined her position. You know, they're talking about Ricky Gervais, and she was like, well, I won't go that far, you know. And I was just like, why would you say that? I mean, you don't want to say, oh, I'm going to go way further than Ricky Gervais and then not do it, but... Ardent, oh, wow. Why does that remind me of Tark from the Dino Riders comics? How the hell did I remember that? William Wallace, there'll be gay dinosaurs for the message. Zebek's Demise, Scarlet Osaurus. Ardent, Glazer was on a bunch of roast. Alex Ogle, comic pitch. Captain Britain, mild manner activist prosecutor, Sir Queer Starmer, takes on all and sundry in the courts to defend those who love, quote, younglings, and turns into an autistic nightmare who invades ordinary people's dreams to halt their prejudices despite the fact he himself can't dream. That sounds like a nightmare, and I know you're living it in the UK. It sounds terrible. I thank God every day I'm not in the UK right now. See, is there anything? Here's red carpet at the Golden Globes. If you care, you can look it up yourself. People paying tributes to Aubrey Plaza's husband. Very sad. That's about it, really. Ardent, I'm pretty sure Starmer dreams of Electric Sheep or Canada. Over at Bleeding Fool, did Lower Decks undo some of the damage Discovery did to Star Trek? There was a rumor of that, but then Victor von Doomcock, or Dictor von Doomcock, said, nah, it really didn't, but I don't know. Or somebody else said it didn't. I don't know. I don't care. This franchise needs a hard reset. You gotta stomp on the reset button until it breaks. And William Shatner dunk him in the fountain of youth is the only way you're going to get me to watch this show again. Ardent, why would you off yourself if you were married to her? I mean, who knows, but he probably suffered from depression. Who knows? I mean, if you have depression, it's a real concern. It's, you know, who knows? I doubt we'll find out the true reason, but it's a shame. Ardent, Strange New Worlds was better than Discovery, but even it wasn't great. I haven't really liked any Star Trek other than the OG, Deep Space Nine, and some of Next Generation. But I like Deep Space Nine was more consistent. Voyager, I thought was awful. Enterprise, I couldn't watch. The theme song, I couldn't watch a single episode. I've never seen a single episode of Enterprise. And also, that's when the canon started to unravel. They stopped following the canon in that show, and that kind of pissed me off too. Alex, what's going on with the rehabilitation of Star Trek Lower Decks? It's like people defending the prequel Star Wars trilogy. I don't know. I mean, not my kind of show. Me and a friend years ago, we pitched a comedy Star Trek crew concept. But, I mean, we never did anything other than talk about it and, you know, write a few paragraphs. But it's... comedy is just dead in Hollywood right now. They're not going to hire anybody. They're not going to hire a guy like me. They're just not going to hire me. I make one or two jokes. I mean, all they're going to do is look at my videos and say, we can't hire this guy. He'll piss off everybody, and he'll have 5 incidents of HR just in the meeting during the interview. And it would be true. I would. You gotta be able to tolerate talent, though. John Belushi, I've heard from the Saturday Night Live book, was kind of a nightmare to work with. He didn't want to work in television at first. He thought it was stupid. He thought it would ruin his career. He wanted to do real acting. They had to practically drag him to the audition. And then they hired him, and they had to convince him, well, you know, it's TV, but you'll get money, and then, you know, you could do whatever you want. You could always go back to summer theater or whatever. And he was the best guy on the show. You know, in terms of acting, holy crap, Belushi could act. And fortunately, you know, he had good writers, and they were doing cool stuff on Saturday Night Live then. And now he's a legend. They just wouldn't tolerate a guy like Belushi today. They just wouldn't even tolerate him. Oh, you don't want to come up here? Okay. I mean, forget about all the woke crap. They just would be like, no, okay, you're not coming? All right, forget it. Like, Belushi had to be dragged almost kicking and screaming to the audition. So goes the legend. And there are other stories like that, too. There are people who, I mean, like, they say Harrison Ford, at first, you know, he was doing carpentry and stuff. He wasn't really doing that much acting. And then he just caught a break, and he ended up doing stuff. But they don't find talent anymore. They let people come to them, and that's the wrong way to find talent. You have to go to the talent. You have to find the talent. But if you don't want to do that, you don't really want your shows and TV and your movies to be any good. You don't care. If you don't care about the quality of the product, and you only care about the deal, you'll never get good stuff. Because it'll always be guys. It'll always be the same 10 guys lining up to the audition. Why should they give other people money? They all want the money. These guys schedule stuff. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here. These guys schedule stuff so tight, they literally will, like, fly in to a movie. Even if it's just like a cameo, it's a 2-day thing, right? They're going to fly in. They're going to, you know, get their trailer or whatever, get their script. Maybe they spend half a day looking at the script and doing the makeup and checking the wardrobe and all that crap. Then maybe they shoot a couple scenes, and then the second day they shoot all the big scenes that they wanted to shoot, and then they are out of there that week onto another set same week, because they're getting paid $100,000 for 2 days worth of work, and then their agent got them something, scheduled it right back to back. So Monday and Tuesday they're on one set, Thursday and Friday they're on another set. $100,000, $200,000, boom, they're done for a month. Or no, next week, if they want to work and they've got a big enough name, boom, they're on to another set. Or maybe they're jumping from $200 million movie to $200 million movie, which is like, you know, that's probably going to be like a year if you're one of the main deals, like in Dune or something. So, guy flies in, spends 3 or 4 months working on a movie, then he gets a month off before his next big movie. During that time, his agent gets him 4 or 5 little jobs. Commercial here, a TV show appearance here, a sitcom there, a short film here. They're just collecting the money. And why wouldn't you want to make some money? I'm going to do it tomorrow. I got some side gig I'm going to do. This is the side hustle for somebody who makes, I don't know, a couple of mil in a big Hollywood movie. Sure, you're not going to do a side hustle for $200K for 2 days worth of work? Of course you are. But it spreads everybody thin, and then you keep seeing these people over and over and over again. Eventually you're kind of sick of them. I've lost my place on the chat. Holy crap, I really missed a bunch. What was going on in Alex Ogle? What is going on with the rehabilitation of Star Trek Lower Decks? Oh yeah, we saw it. Alex Ogle, the youngers don't understand what's been done to the franchise. Okay, that is true. Sorry, I screwed up the chat. Alex at Arden nods. William Wallace, Enterprise was awesome. Give it another chance. I can't get past that theme song. Ardent at William Wallace. Dictor von Doomcock. I forget what channel his channel is called. It's called DVD Pro, I think. Pretty good entertainment YouTuber. Not as good as Tony, though. Thank you, Arden. Ardent, LOL. I'd be canned for the first day after telling the talent to STFU. Zebix to Minds. Been a while since I watched Doomcock, but I like him. William Wallace, is that the reviewer with the metal mask at Ardent? Yes. Yes, says Ardent. Zebix Demise. Imagine the Blues Brothers or Animal House never being made. Yeah, exactly. JC, Belushi was so talented, his untalented and unfunny brother has milked a 30-year career riding his coattails. He absolutely has. And he's not bad. I would say Jim Belushi's okay. Zebix Demise, you mean hiring talent scouts? Not necessarily, but like you gotta look for people. I mean, the casting people should be doing that. Alex Ogle, just let CBS take Star Trek where they're going to take it. Captain Quirk arrives on a planet and battles with the oppressive regime. Alex Ogle, until they host a pride parade where everyone denies the sexual degeneracy that is obviously happening in front of them and the children of the planet. That would actually be an episode I would expect from OG Star Trek if it were around today. If OG Star Trek somehow showed up today, I would expect an episode like that where the crew goes down to this planet, and at first they seem very together and very with it, and the crew quickly realizes that grooming gangs are running amok, and no one in the incredible liberal government is doing a damn thing about it. And Captain Kirk is like, I can't let these children get taken. And he does something and finally changes the way the planet's being run. Even though they had the prime directive and they weren't supposed to do that, but they did it all the time. JC Harrison was in American Graffiti and Conversation. He always wanted to be an actor. That's true, but he did say in an interview that wasn't always the case. I don't think he wanted to be a carpenter, but Ardent Overlord DVD. Ardent, I remembered. At Alex, biggest mistake Paramount made re-Trek was not recruiting the fan filmmakers and giving them a shot. I don't think you'll ever see that. Ardent, oh yeah, OG Trek had a tendency to be modern liberal. But they would take chances because, and this is another thing, Gene Roddenberry hunted down real sci-fi guys to write Star Trek. So he put up with Harlan Ellison. I believe the story goes, I think it was Harlan. He locked him in a room and forced him to write his episode, which I think was City on the Edge of Forever. I think that's the one he forced him to write. And then Harlan wrote this amazing episode, but it was totally inappropriate for Star Trek. So Gene had to rewrite it. Harlan always resented him for it, and then entered the original draft of the script in a Writers Guild like best of scripts that year sort of contest, and he won. And it was sort of him thumbing his nose at Gene Roddenberry, who actually liked him. If you read Star Trek Memories by William Shatner, he talks about this story, and just his take on it is like, everybody liked Harlan. Don't know why he was so angry and mad about it, but that was the version of the story he had, that, you know, Harlan was just mad because they changed the story. But really, if you read the original draft, and you can read the original draft of The City on the Edge of Forever, it's crazy complicated. It reads like a movie. It is awesome, but it has way too many elements in it for the budget they had at that time at Desilu Studios for Star Trek. So they had to like roll it back, and that's what Gene Roddenberry did, and he made it more melodramatic, which Harlan didn't like. Ardent, They brought back the Guardian for Discovery. It was trash. William Wallace, they should give fan filmmakers a chance. Fan edit of Dune by Spice Diver was fantastic. Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't think there's any way that can work. I can't see it under the current system. I think inevitably that kind of stuff will eventually unravel Hollywood. Hollywood is unraveling, in my opinion, because of the internet. So things like that are just unraveling it. AI will finish it off when AI gets sophisticated enough that, again, you could just call up Netflix, and instead of saying, Netflix, what movies do you have? You say, Netflix, I want to see a Star Trek movie, but it's directed by Tarantino, and it's got a lot of action, and it's about them rescuing POWs from a planet. And then the AI will hum for about 5 minutes, and then ask you who you want to see star in it, and you'll pick a bunch of stars that you like, and the AI will punch them right in, and you'll get to see a crazy movie that nobody else will ever see, and you'll get a choice of saving it or deleting it, and most people will just delete it, and it'll be gone, and it'll probably be halfway decent. It'll be a lot like a bunch of movies you've seen, but to the uninitiated who haven't seen any movies, they'll just say, oh, that was the greatest movie I ever saw. Maybe I will save it. Can I save this movie? Oh, yeah, if you pay us $50, you could save the movie for a year. And that's how they'll make their money, I'm guessing. Nobody will own anything in media. Alex Ogle, at William Wallace, the fan edit of Dune merely undid the mess, or the 1980s Dune. The despecialized versions of Star Wars are true gems. William Wallace, yep, it will change. Yeah, I mean, you may very well be able to do a Spice Diver edit of things, right? Your own version of it. So, you know, I've always said a lot of these movies that come out, they're too long. I'll just, say to the AI, listen, I don't want to see a bunch of BS. Cut this out of the movie. And then you'll probably have guys who somehow will re-release old movies with different edits and somehow make money on it. I mean, maybe Spice Diver's already doing it, but I don't know. That will really lead to some changes in Hollywood, because why would you watch an original movie when you can watch a better version of the original movie, or maybe one that's, completely meshed in with another movie you like? JC, I don't think AI will make the shows, but it will streamline post-production and special effects to the point people will be making Hollywood quality shows and movies on their laptop. Yeah, I long for that day. I will make the Pineys book one. The starting point will be the AI will be able to take a book like the Pineys, create most of it, and then I can go through it and change it. That'll be the ultimate. I'll say, okay, change the look of this character. It's not quite right. And then, give me the music here and make it more, give me more pine trees here or whatever. And then, after a few weeks, I'll have something to show, hopefully, and then I can run it. And who knows? I'll have to pay a licensing fee to the AI and some other fees, but then I'll get a chunk of it too. Kind of like what I'm doing with the books now with Amazon. William Wallace, I thought it was brilliant, even if Lynch hated it himself. Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, they could someday do a Pineys movie, or maybe I get to do the Pineys movie that I absolutely want, and it's exactly as I want, and then somebody takes it and messes with it and does another cut of it, and people go, oh, this is much better, and I go, You never know. Alex Ogle, the trouble with modern films is they're trying to be like old Hollywood biblical epics, but concentrate on artsy shots rather than establishing characters and story. That is true. JC, Dune 84 is trash. You're a harsh judge, JC. I don't know. I didn't really say it. I've seen clips of it. It looks boring. More on Mufasa. Nancy Pelosi says Trump's willingness to pardon Jan 6 prisoners makes him a strange person. Nancy Pelosi also finally winding down. She seems to be suffering from dementia. She had like a weird video that just came out. I think she also busted up her hip. William Wallace, okay if you say so. Senator Chuck Schumer says he and fellow Dems didn't mislead on Biden's mental state. Oh no, he's as sharp as a tack for a guy who can't say words and falls down. Moving on, that was the rap, by the way. It's supposed to be about movies. Marvel's Nova series again rumored to feature Annihilus. Well, you say that wrong, it's going to come out really bad. William Wallace, like Kubrick's version of The Shining. Yeah. Stephen King made his own version. I think he directed the mini series that was on TV, and he put the hedge maze animals back in. JC, Biden pardoned a bunch of literal PDF files. Yeah, I don't like Biden. He-Man movie, quite different, says Nicholas Galazine. Oh, that's going to be great, isn't it? Oh, can't you wait for a modern version, quite different? You know, when Hollywood says it's quite different from the original, you know you got a hit on your hands. Alex Ogle at JC, Dune 84 is a classic. De Laurentiis, Messi's, but visually stunning. Jason Momoa teases Lobo. David Leitch wants to direct. I guess. Who cares? Marvel's new Punisher series rumored in the works. Maybe. Doomsday reveals cast through production listing. Okay. Does anybody care about this movie? I don't know if people do. Here's the cast. Robert Downey Jr., Pedro Pascal. Alex Ogle, that He-Man looks weak and gay. Joe Russo and the Russo brothers are directing, so I like that. JC, Nancy just had a hip replacement. She's probably loopy on painkillers. Yeah, so here's the cast. Robert Downey Jr., he's Doom. Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, Ebon Moss. I think that's the Fantastic Four. I forget their names. Tom Holland, obviously Spider-Man. Elizabeth Olsen, what's her face? Scarlet Witch. Sebastian Stan, so Bucky. Florence Pugh, who? As the new Black Widow. Dime Store Black Widow. Wyatt Russell, I forget who he played. David Harbour as that annoying Russian character. Hannah John Kemen, I forget who she is. Olga Koryenko, I think she's the Taskmaster. Chris Evans, I think he's come back as Captain America. There was some rumor that he may come back as alternate Johnny Storm. Anthony Mackie as Falcon Cap. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Haley Atwell as what's her face? Female Captain America in the What If show. So that's the lineup. William Wallace. Now that was trash. Go figure. King's miniseries of The Shining. Alex Ogle, have we commented on how satisfying it is to see Will Ferrell looking like a homeless version of his elf character since Trump is on his way back to the Black House in the Netflix reimagining? I don't know what. Do you think it has something to do with politics? I just thought it was weird. I thought he had like a breakdown or something. It's weird that he's ruining Buddy the Elf by showing up in the costume and smoking a cigarette. Like, why would you do that? Are you just trying to destroy anybody's image of my brother actually dressed up as Buddy the Elf for Christmas as a joke. He had the costume from years ago. JEC, happy January 6th tomorrow, everyone. We told you we were taking the country back. Look at us now, Nancy. Ardent. They did the Red Guardian so dirty. Haley Atwell played Peggy Carter. Fan service. Evans might be playing the skinny Rogers from What If? Oh, really? Weird. That would be weird. Over at Breitbart, Golden Globes Hate Fest, Frontrunner Conclave, Slam, most disgusting anti-Catholic film I've seen in a long time. Just don't watch the Golden Globes, would be my advice. Alex Ogle at JC, happy mostly peaceful Insurrection Day. Ricky Gervais skewers Hollywood pedo ring and jokes he would have made as host. So definitely stop by and read that here at Breitbart. Nikki Glazer torches Diddy. Unwatchable movies, celebrities who back Kamala. Well, that's not bad. I mean, Diddy is low-hanging fruit now, but unwatchable movies and celebrities who back Kamala, okay. Might check out a clip. Hollywood celebrities getting extra armed protection, snipers following the New Orleans attack. We must protect our celebrities, people. How will we know what to do with our lives if we don't have celebrities? Alex Ogle, they must be desperate for films to nominate if they're pushing Conclave. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. William Wallace, Will's been doing too many spirit cooking parties with Marina. I don't know if I can even explain what that is. Golden Globes 2025, Transmania set to dominate with Emilia Perez. Oh, that's the other movie that's nominated because there's a trans lead in that. I'm not sure what it's about. I forget. And more on the Melania Trump documentary. And finally, over at That Park Place, Helldivers 2 director slams DEI in gaming. Make good games, not political statement. Agreed. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the game everyone almost skipped due to the modern audience marketing missteps. I still skipped it. Tom Holland refuses to walk the red carpet with Zendaya in her movie premieres. I think it's probably smart, but he made a weird comment like he's going to leave movies as soon as possible so he could raise their kids while Zendaya continues with her career, which is odd because Zendaya is the one who's the clock is ticking and Tom Holland could probably work until he's like 75 if he stays in shape. So, I don't know. And, yeah, that's about it. I gotta wrap this up. Oh, what a show. Oh, my goodness. William Wallace, Will's been oh, no, I read that one. William Wallace, LOL, I got it. Big Brother's watching. Yeah, on YouTube. I still have to figure out how to get my stuff on X. I still haven't figured that out. And now I'm not even sure I figured out YouTube properly. I don't know how I screwed this up, but I guess it was just a glitch. Probably the weather knocked it out. So what have we learned this week? Well, we've learned the Golden Globes suck and nobody cares. I think we've learned people in the Avengers movie for Doomsday is going to be the same people we've seen all the time. What else have we learned? We've learned that there were no really big movies coming out this week. There's a lot of competition. Surprisingly, there's money being made. Let me go back to the numbers just briefly. Yeah, it cracked 100 million. So, yeah, it was Mufasa, Sonic the Hedgehog, Nosferatu, Moana, Wicked, and then A Complete Unknown. But basically the same movies as last week, which will probably be next week as well. Alex Ogle, new category, Best Trans Movie. It's not a movie, it's a pickled cucumber, but every is forced under duress to say it's a movie. JC, Tom Holland could play a teenager into his 40s the way he's aging. The doctors threw Zendaya at the wall when she was 4 out of her mother, or when she fell out of her mother. That's rough, dude. That's rough. I mean, she's a young woman. Young women are always attractive. But I mean, I get what you're saying. They could have picked more attractive women, but I don't know. Zendaya has the right agent, the right connections, the right everything. She's at the right place at the right time. Tom seems to like her. That's fine. Ardent, final pitch. Sydney Sweeney plays a female furry costume maker who falls in love with a chubby Newfoundland cabinet maker. We can call it Laid Bare. Nice. Nice. Zevek's Demise at Ardent. Are you writing yourself into that movie? William Wallace. Screwtube needs the hard goodbye. X and Rumble for the win. I am on X. Or I am on Rumble. Not on X yet. I have to figure it out. Ardent at Zevek's Demise. Shush, don't ruin this for me. Zevek's Demise. LOL. Alex Ogle. We've learned Tony is interesting in playing a role in a surprisingly small and cheap set as long as he's president and Sydney Sweeney in a bikini is pressing past him. Yes. Ardent. Zendaya is a Hollywoke 2. Oof. Oof. Look, she's got a good body. She's thin. You know, she's all right. I get it. She's not the hottest chick. I mean, I've seen hotter chicks at, like, I don't know, the supermarket, but you know, I think you go a little rough on her, but the thing is, it is what it is. I mean, you're stuck with her as Mary Jane until the franchise reboots. But I'm okay with that as long as Tom Holland continues to play Peter Parker. And I think they're pretty much cutting MJ out of the franchise, or at least pushing her on the back burner for a while to let another character sort of fill the role of, you know, the girlfriend. Alex, Zendaya has a face like a smacked arse. Zevek's Demise at Alex. Ouch. Ouch. Rough. We've learned that Zendaya doesn't have a lot of fans. Ardent at Alex Ogle. Indeed, it's all about the angle they shoot her from. Yeah. Yeah. So I think they're ditching her to insert probably the Black Cat character. And then she'll be the love interest. But I don't even think they've written the script yet. But that's the next logical... I mean, unless they're going to try to put Betty Brant into it, they're probably going to stay away from Gwen Stacy because they're petrified of the association with the bad Andrew Garfield movies. So, and with what's-her-face who was in them and play... who was it? It was Emma Stone. And she's way out of the MCU now. JC, she'd be cute enough if she was a girl on the street. Her personality would still ruin it still. They're asking us to pay to watch this mid-girl. Yeah, I mean, that's a problem. If you're in Hollywood, you want to get the hottest chicks. You want to get the hottest guys, too, but you definitely need the hottest chicks. Ardent, I have an idea for turning Ned into the Hobgoblin. Depends if the chubby kid that plays him with Holland can get into shape. He's in that new movie called Novocaine, which looks kind of funny. Check out the trailer. I did a trailer thing on it. Ardent, Betty Brant. She's the blonde on the High School News TV show. Oh, there's another one, too. There's another one who worked at the Daily Bugle with him. I thought her name was Betty Brant. Maybe they recreated her. Anyhow, I'm going to wrap it here before the stream goes dead. Thanks for tuning in. What's coming up this week for me? Snow tomorrow. Hopefully I don't get snowed in too bad. And then on Thursday, I'll be at the Mullica Hill Library in Mullica Hill, New Jersey at 7. And I won't be doing my normal talk. I'll be doing a talk on how to get published in South Jersey. This is by request from the library. So that should be fun and different. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm basically going to explain Kindle Direct Publishing to a room full of people and tell them all the horror shows I had with various book publishers. It wasn't that bad, but it's hard. Ardent, same character. And have a good night. Have a good night, everyone. I hope you had a good holiday. It's a brand new year. Hit the ground running on Monday, unless you live near me where the snow will be on the ground, in which case make sure you put down some sand or salt first. Thanks for tuning in. Joan and I will see you in the next one. Ardent, remember not to eat the yellow snow. You're not the boss of me.